hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. Now the morning, the afternoon, lay awake. It laughs so loud as the hours pass. We're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top.
Hello and good afternoon. It's a bit earlier than what I normally do because it's 1 p.m. here in Central Europe, in the Netherlands to be more exact, and we are having a heat wave. That means that I do have a little fan here next to me, and I hope it's not too noisy for you guys, but I have a feeling it's going to be too warm to crochet today if I don't get a little bit of a breeze. Also, no tea. I am actually on a glass of a lemonade. Well, I don't know if it's lemonade. It's a soft drink. It's called Rivella, which is actually Swiss. I like it. And I have a metal ice cube in it, so it doesn't, yeah, I guess, gets too liquid. Yeah, so what's up? As you can figure out, based on the title alone, I didn't finish the shawl yet. And no, I didn't finish it because it's been too warm. And I frogged, and there is more yarn left than I intended, or I thought that it would be after the live Monday. So that is basically what we are up for today. We are gonna try to finish the PuErhTea shawl. Hello, Jackie. Wonderful to see you. Good morning to you, or good afternoon. Hope you're well. I do hope you're well. Awesome. That means I'm not fully alone. I'm always so happy when people pop in. So the thing is, of course, I also had to, well, actually frog the whole row. I would have been a row closer to finish if it wasn't because I had to frog a whole row. And that's because since I did deviate a little bit from the pattern to make sure I could sort of do a few more repeats with the remaining yarns, which I'm really happy I did, because I had like, probably when I decided to add the more rows, I still had like 22% left of the yarn. 7 a.m. definitely good morning. Then you are in the US Eastern time zone. New York, Florida, something like that. Could be anything in between, of course. So yeah, that is basically, but this is where we are at, and I am here. And you can see that is what I did reach since last time. I did reach to enter into the pure yellow. And right now I'm just making chain one, double skip a stitch, double crochet, etc. That is what I'm working on. But the previous row I had to flip completely because I did sort of follow the pattern, but forgotten I had inserted an extra row. And then when I was doing that, obviously I didn't have to do front posts, but back posts instead. And therefore I ended up having to frog it to make sure that the texture came on the right side of the shawl. So GA is, I believe, Georgia, if not wrong. I am familiar with Georgia. I have been there a few times, actually, to Atlanta. Well, we flew to Atlanta, but yeah, that's also like the biggest airport in the world, or the most busiest one. And then we drew down 2 hours south to Colombo. More specific, back then it was named Fort Benning. There was a competition there where I was participating in, so I was there in 2010 and 2011. Um, Lovely to see. It was a good visit, actually. So I did enjoy my time there. So what we are going to do is I am going to find my dual camera view here, and we are gonna flip that over. And yeah, I'm in the tank top mode because really it's too bloody hot otherwise. And the reality is I don't have an air conditioning, and it is, for Dutch terms, really warm. We did set a heat record yesterday. It's never been measured so warm ever on July 1st. And today might be another record-breaking day. In the southern part of the Netherlands, they promise up towards 38 or so degrees, which is like in 90s. That is not around where I am from. I'm a bit more like in the middle, but still I'm not close to the coast, which means that we do get some warmer temperatures here. But let's just, for funsies, see. Hello and good afternoon, Hella. Right now, it's warm, my friends. It is partly cloudy. Yeah, they promised thunder later today. With a temperature of 96 degrees Fahrenheit, that's about the same as 36 degrees Celsius. Wind is blowing from south at 5 miles per hour. If you go outside, you can't feel the wind, I can tell you that. And the humidity is 33. It feels more humid than Nightbot tells me it is. And I hope you don't have any issues with my dear ventilator that I have standing over here, and I have it there because then hopefully my hands doesn't get too warm to crochet. That is what I kind of sort of hope won't happen. So I might need to, I can't figure out if I need to maybe tip it a bit more like that. So, and I think because I can feel how my watch or the edge of it seems to be wanting to rip a bit in this yarn, so I'm gonna take off my watch because I don't need snags. But yeah, so it is. It's pretty warm here, as you can figure. Actually, the whole of Europe seems to be struck by this heat wave. I have friends in Germany. They're saying that they should get up to like 38 as well today. And given the fact this is still early afternoon, it is likely to get warmer as we get closer to 4 or 5 p.m. That is usually when it's warmest here. But yeah. So hopefully we can get this one finished. I think I might end it in the 2 rows time. Well, 2.5, well, a bit more than 2.5 rows, 3 rows. When I finish this and then 2 more rows, because then after that I'm a little bit puzzled as to how I would best be able to do it without like changing it too much. So I may need to do a little bit of math when we get there, because I did sort of freestyle it the last couple of rows, like the last 5-6 rows. Because the pattern kind of just ends and says, and then you need to kind of finish it off. And I was like, when I was supposed to do that, there was just too much yarn there for me to feel that made sense to do. If I will have some yarn left after this, that would be, I guess, okay. It would be a lot less because I've at least been able to do like 5, maybe almost 6 rows with that last color. And that seems kind of like okay-ish. And then whatever is left, I will wrap it up and put it in my scrap basket. Who knows, maybe it's long enough for it to be able to multi-strand with something and make a knit hat or something like that. That could be. That is definitely something that I could consider. Further than that, we are crocheting along and we will see how far we get. As I said, the goal is to finish this. I do have some other projects we can work on if we reach to finish this one in time. That said, normally I keep working here until about, yeah, what would that be? 5 p.m. here in Europe. But I have to cut it short by about half an hour today. So about 4:30 p.m. is when we will be ending this live. And that will be like 10:30-ish a.m. Eastern if you are in the US. So yeah, that is the current plans. And then hopefully I won't sweat to death or be too warm for this yarn to snack too much on me, because that is the main challenge when working with these lurex yarns. The lurex, if you are too warm, tends to, yeah, they don't glide as easily between your fingers, so to say. That is my experience at least. So yeah, that is right now the plans and what we are doing. This weekend I'm home alone, so I'll probably pop live at some stage. I'm not sure when. And I definitely have a few other things to do. Lots of editing work. That is one thing that I know for sure. But since I didn't finish this PuErhTea shawl, does mean that I won't reach to block it for Friday's yarn talk video. But I should have enough time to thread on some blocking mats for the weekend. And then I can show the final block version next week. Yeah. So yeah, so right now it's just chucking along. It's single crochet, not single crochet, sorry, chain stitch. So I chain one, I skip a stitch, and I do a double crochet in the following stitch. And that's all the way around, well, until the tip. And the tip we do need to work it slightly different, but we should be fine. I do have an extra stitch after I had to work up the pattern slightly differently to make it work. And that means that I may need to do some fiddling for the shawl stitches, which shells are the kind of the finishing touch to this shawl. It has a border of shawl stitches. I kind of like this really nice yellow with the thread of shimmering in it, with the thread of lurex. It gives a nice twist, I would say. If you're new to this channel, feel free to pop in and say hello. We'd love to meet you. Further than that, we are just hanging out for a couple of hours, crocheting, chatting about yarns, and other random things. And you have to let me know if the noise the fan makes in the background is too annoying for you, I can tell you that I don't have any issues with it, but that is mainly because that I do have my headset on, and I was wondering if I should put some music on actually. It's a little bit more fun to have something to listen to. I'm just not sure what I'm in the mood for. I could be in the mood for so many things. Right now, I'm mainly just in the mood to get this shawl finished. So that is a good start. I started on some bucket hats, but I also have the cowl, and I want to finish that cowl also this month. So July is going to be a very productive month when we look at the Decrease My Stash project, because obviously June didn't see a big decrease. Well, I did do a lot in June, given the fact I wasn't home. I only was home like half of June, a bit more than half, but like if June is 4 weeks, I was home 2.5 of them. Oh, remember to skip a stitch, Stina, please. Due to that, oh no, I need to frog. I see that I have yarn split. I need to fix that. I don't want yarn splits. So we'll redo that little piece. It was not that many stitches, luckily. And the projects I made was worked on, some of them didn't consume that much yarn, or I've been working on these somewhat bigger projects, and you know, a shawl like this, if it's not finished, happen to finish in a month, then it takes up working time, but it doesn't really add to that consumption stash, if that makes sense. And I did some other, I did a bucket hat, but I only used one ball for it because the other skeins were only half used, and I don't feel I can say a half used skein considers as a used skein. It's a skein that I broke open, but it's not used. My spag of bigger weight yarns, so not DK weights, but more like, what would that be? An errand weight would come next, I think. Somewhere between 3 and a 4 weight cotton yarns. That definitely is growing, so maybe at some stage I can sit down and just make a scrap project. That would be kind of cool. Now I am at the center, and I think I'm actually supposed to, because now I'm not doing it accordingly, so let's see what I can do. Good morning, Misty. I hope you're doing well this morning. Here in the Netherlands, it is 1:33 p.m. and I have a little bit of a fan rowing because it's warm. We are making heat wave records today. We did yesterday, so I'm kind of expecting them to be as well today. So I was actually supposed to not have this in the last stitch, but I knew I had a stitch too many. I could continue just do double crochets, which would probably be fine because the next row is a bunch of double crochets. And then that kind of sort of semi-fixes that. I'll still have a stitch too many, but it's not a big issue. So that works. And then we chain 2. We just need to remember the 2 double crochets on the other side. And then a double crochet in that first stitch, and then we'll go back to the chain 1, skip a stitch, work a double crochet in the following stitch pattern. But if you can't hear anything at all from my fan, then it's perfect actually. Because that fan is basically helping me staying cold enough to be able to work with this yarn. Like last night, I had a period where I was literally thinking, can it really be too warm to crochet? Honestly? And I didn't do as much as I wanted to. And that did actually include frocking a whole row and redoing it at some stage yesterday. Anyhow, the good news are I got my knitting needles. I made an order for some knitting needles, and I received them, including some double pointed ones. Some would call them for socks and so on, but it can also make some things easier when you do finish up hats and work in the round. I got them in a bamboo type. I got them just to see if I can work with them, and then I just needed some, well, decent cheap ones. And I got some round ones, but they are cubics. Because if I enjoy working with them, I'm probably gonna go for like a knit picked set. That would be kind of nice. Or I could put it on my wish list for Christmas. So that is currently what's up here in this end of the world. But that does mean that I can get started. So I had some yarn slaying that I want to triple strand for a beanie. And it's a bit easier to do now because now I have the needles. The other needles that I had, they were getting a bit snagged because the wire had broken off and I had to squeeze it back on. And that kind of makes a yarn snag if I didn't turn it the right way around. It's not going as smooth, and I can feel, especially when I decrease, I get below a certain amount of stitches. The wire is a bit too long, combined with the extra pulling makes the stitches go smaller, which makes them more difficult to work with, and that frustrates me. So I hope that this investment will be worth it, at least for my sanity. And my past experience is that investing in your sanity is a really good thing. Good morning. I would say good afternoon, Manuela. And I believe you have a more warm time than I do, because if I do remember right, you're all the way in the southern part of the Netherlands, in the southern part of Limburg. And here in Nijmegen, as you can see, it's 36 degrees Celsius, which is warm. I don't have an air conditioning, but I do have a fan next to me. And if I don't use that, I'll melt. I will melt. Oh my goodness, it's a degree warmer at your place. The weather for Hunsbroek is sunny with a temperature of 99 degrees Fahrenheit, 37 degrees Celsius. The wind is blowing from the southwest at 10 miles per hour. Current humidity is 29. So it's drier in Hunsbroek and you have a bit more wind, but it's also warmer core temperature. What I do think is I believe that we will get thunderstorms this late afternoon, early evening. I wouldn't be surprised. I would be surprised if it doesn't happen, and I really hope it cools down. It looks like the weather will be cooling by tomorrow, but I wouldn't mind if it would cool already now. It's, we never really had the feeling that we desperately need an air conditioning. But I have to admit that yesterday we actually talked about maybe we need to consider investing in an air conditioning because it's just warm. Yeah, pretty much, right? It's just, yeah, a bit crazy. I have to go out later. The reason that this stream will be cut short this afternoon is the fact that I am going to the birthday party today. My mom-in-law is having her birthday. It is her birthday today. And we're going there to have dinner and an evening coffee, probably with some cake or something like that. and give her a birthday present. And I know that when I open the door to go out, it will be like walking into a heat wall. Right now, it's a nice temperature here. Well, nice temperature. It's only like 27. Yeah, 27 degrees indoor here. How much that would ever be. But it is cooler. And it's shady. But yeah, don't forget to drink extra today. And the thing is, when it is this warm, a lot of people tend to say, oh, but you need to drink liquid, which is true. But if you only drink water and you drink more than you're used to, generally liquids, not just water, but you drink more than you're used to, and if that extra is a lot of water as well, you can then end up needing to, like if you get too much liquid, eventually you will remove the salts from your body, either by sweat or by peeing it out, to say it nicely. And that's why it can be dangerous if you only supplement your liquids with water. So it's advisable actually to drink something else than just water, to mix it up a bit, to make sure you get other nutrients in your body. So that is the pro tip. I actually even have some OTS, I think it's called, and it's something like it's a oral salts that, so it's basically a sachet of salts that you mix up in water. I don't do those today, but I had them because a while ago I was recommended to use them by my doctor because I had issues with my stomach, and they feared that due to that I were losing too many quote unquote salts from my body. Do, 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 do. But yeah, so I am chucking along, and I do genuinely hope that I can finish this one today. Did anyone see that Hobby launched their Halloween collection? So the Halloween yarns are out, and both Dahlia and Twister has new Halloween colors. I am, yeah, loving them. But I didn't order anything for a few reasons. I need to use up more yarn. And they're not on sale yet. I hope to snatch them when they're on sale, those that I like. I'm not completely sold on the dahlias. I have one of them which I really enjoy, which I also have from other years. But the new ones I'm not sold on. But the new Twister ones, I think they're gorgeous. Really, really gorgeous. One of them is black and green. And I'm like, I must have feeding. So I would really love to pick up that one of those. So I'm not the only one hearing about that. So Misty says here, I drink one LMNT every day. Love the lemon salt flavor. So that's probably what I'm talking about. The mineral salts, which is a sachet you empty up in the waters. I think it's really a good idea if you are in a region where it's really warm. Or periods like the current. I was Like, I did drink them back then. I just wasn't totally sold on the taste, but it could be that I just didn't find the ones that taste nice. Um, yeah. And I only have 2 weeks left of work. Then I have a few days of vacation. That's nice. We will be heading to Denmark. So what I will need to do before then is to figure out what projects I want to bring with me on the go. So there is that. I will need to think about something to bring along because we are driving. And it's a 9.5 hours drive. While I am going to be driving some of it, I will also not be driving some of it and need to keep my partner with company. And well, wouldn't it be nice if I could be productive for that whole stretch? It would. Misty says she buy it from Amazon. Okay. I generally think Amazon is lovely quick with their shipping services here in the Netherlands. But if you have bought something and you want to return it, it's a pain in the rear. Because the return options they offer compared to the city I live in is literally non-existent, and then I would need to go to a different city, which is not always an option for me, especially like if it's a bigger package and I don't have a car. I'm not really gonna be bothered to take public transportation to be able to return a package. I do have I do have a DHL point here, but they don't print out labels. And when you then get told by Amazon that, yeah, but they just need to print out the label at the store, I'm like, yeah, I'm at the store and they don't have a label printer. So, yeah, that basically. Um, it has potassium and magnesium as well, all good things. A thing is, we totally underestimate the effect it has on the body when we are insufficient in minerals. Like if we have a deficiency, um, we go really tired. Reminds me, I should probably start doing my vitamins again. Because I have been a bit tired as of late, but that could also partially be accounted to my autoimmune disease. I have generally some really, like, I do want to do specific things. I have lots of ideas I want to set in motion for many aspects in life, just not crochet, but also just like what I should do. And, the thoughts are there, intention are there, but the execution of some of the things aren't fully on par. I should have cleaned my house, for example, and I had time to do it yesterday, but yesterday was so warm. I was like, hell no, I am not gonna clean my house in this heat. And I decided not to do it. Misty says here that she's severely anemia. Oh, that does not sound nice. I know being anemic makes a big difference. A good example currently is my mom. She is from time to time anemic, and that is due to the chemotherapy treatment she's going through. And I have seen how she is before and after a sachet of blood. So, yeah, that can be really concerning if the blood percentage goes too low. I guess it doesn't help either that I could imagine that would be the same for my mom because obviously we are genetically related, but I know that my blood percentage is on the lower end. It's fine, but it's on the lower end. And um, you know, I wanted to donate my blood to be a blood donor. And when I ever delivered my first sachet of blood, I passed out, getting going away. And they literally told me that my blood was running so slowly out, plus the fact that I would be directly anemic after I had delivered. They recommended me not to do it. And that is basically the reason why I am not a blood donor, else I would have been. But the doctors advised me against it, literally. Jackie says, Misty, have you tried making it yourself? I make mine in a pint or quart jar and lasts a long time. Salt, magnesium, and potassium. It's pretty cost effective to make your own. Oh, that's a good idea. Is there any recipes or something like that that's advised? What people also need to keep in mind is actually if we have too many minerals, it's also not good for our body. Funny as it is. It's easy to understand if you had too little, but sometimes it's like, but if it's just a little too much, but yeah, that can really make some people sick. So it's a very fine balance. And I think what's most important is you find what works for your body and not so much what everybody says is a good thing. So we are almost finished this row. I did have it done a little bit before we started the row, like, I don't know, a third of side maybe. But we are getting closer to the end of this one. Mr. says, I have, but I work many hours and I take it on the go. I rarely spoil myself and I love the flavor of this one. Well, sometimes we just need to do what fits best in our consciousness. Since I am traveling a fair amount lately, I have also come to the conclusion, especially in the airport. So I have found a place when I am traveling from Düsseldorf Airport, which is in Germany, about an hour and a half or so drive from here. I have found this place in the airport that serves a fine hot chocolate. I've had better, but it's good. It's okay. And if I pay for that and grab that, I can actually go take a sit in the restaurant and I can work for like an hour, hour and a half before I have to go catch my flight. And it's like a silent place. I've found a silent corner. So far when I've been here, it's just been silent. And I like pop up my computer and I work. Because see, the thing is, if I work an hour in the airport, I don't need to work an hour later and I can like exploit my time, use my time better. Because in the airport, I have to wait regardless. Like I can't do anything but, well, wait for the flight to go. I am though curious because next time I am flying out from Düsseldorf, it is another aircraft carrier. And I'm not sure if I will be flying from Pier A, where this place is. We will have to see. Okay, how did I start this? Just give me a moment, I need the other end. Okay, I did in the last stitch I will need to do a double crochet. So first we'll chain one, then I'll work in a double crochet, then I'll chain one again and work in a treble crochet in that same stitch. Just one moment, a little bit of focus here. But that's first going to be in August, so I'm not too worried about it. But I'll treat myself. Normally in the old days, I bought as little as possible in the airports because it's expensive. But this is an investment of, I don't know, 4 years, 3.5 or 4 years. And for that investment, if I can sit down and it means that I need to work an hour less or an hour and a half less at another time, I take it. It's worth it. It makes financially sense somehow. Goody. That was this row. So what we need to do now, that's easy, is to start with a chain of 4 and then 2 double crochets in the same stitch. And then it's basically a double crochet in each stitch all the way around. Easy. In the center, 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. All the way side, double crochet in each stitch until the very last stitch where you do 2 double crochets and a treble. So that is easy. 2, 3, 4. So one would say this row, the past row, I really shouldn't have been able to make mistakes. Well, the past row easier, but if you need to do double crochets in each stitch, that should really be simple. So that was the starting bit of it. Do. These ones are single packages. And yeah, we have to spoil ourselves, definitely. So, Mr. says she lives fast pace. Crazy, no air conditioning. I'm Southern California and we run air conditioning all day and all night. Yeah, I don't have an air conditioning. I don't. We discussed about maybe needing to invest in one. Or rather, let me put it like this. My partner looked at me and said, honey, if it's going to get this warm, maybe you should buy us one. And I'm like, yeah, okay. It's an investment. I get it's a price investment. And he's being like, yeah, I'm apparently the one with money. We don't have a shared economy. We have lived together for, blimey, 16 years. That's scary. But, and I did just throw my legs up, by the way, so I'm sorry if the whole crochet project got further away, or I could put it a bit close. I could pull it closer. I guess I could try. We don't get into the hundreds here, but what we do get is today, which is apparently a heat wave record. So it's close to 100 here, but that's not normal for the Netherlands. We do occasionally get towards 90 in the summer. Multiple days past 90 is not common, but we should probably consider investing in one. So the benefit would be to get one of those systems where you can also use it to heat up. So it's both a heater and air conditioning. Because we are on gas still, natural gases, as a heating method for the house. And those costs are pretty high. So it would be nice because if the air conditioning would run off electricity and we have solar panels on the roof, it can easier help pay for some of it. And in the summer, it's not an issue because the hot days is usually also sunny days. So we'll have the solar panels to pay for the air conditioning. And in the winter, maybe on a sunny day in the winter, it could also pay for the heating. And it might still be cheaper than some alternatives. We'll have to test that. Yeah, so that's pretty much the short version of it. I guess I just want some sort of security because if I invest in this air conditioning, then which will first in any case be at the earliest convenience next year because all the companies for air conditionings, they're usually full. Next spring maybe at best. I will have to discuss it with my partner for some terms and conditions because it's still a hefty lump sum to give out. While the amount itself is not the issue, if we leave one another, it's an issue because the house is his. And then it's kind of just like gone money, so to say. So we need to make some sort of an agreement, which I'm sure we can easily come to an agreement to. And I'm not too concerned because, we're still together after 16 years and we're having a good time. But it's more like a just in case of that we have a clear agreement with one another. Would be the same as I'm not paying to his mortgage. He didn't want that when I came here, due to the simple reason that he's been through divorce once, and he didn't want to figure all that out once again. And I'm fine with that. If that's how it's going to be, then, I can invest in my own. The money I earn is my money, and the money he earns is his money, and that's just how it is. But yeah, so the idea of an air conditioning where we can do both heating and cooling would be really, really nice, especially because the solar panels can pay for most of the electricity probably. That would be nice. Like right now, obviously, I have this fan running, which wouldn't be running with an air conditioning. And I do have the light on, because if I don't have the light on, the room is getting pretty dark because we have some curtains down to help block the sun out. Which basically helps keeping the room a bit colder now when we don't have an air conditioning. Prenup on the air conditioning. Yeah, something like that. We need to make an agreement for sure. I have to say, I've heard the prenup so many times, so I just need to make sure I understand. Yeah, exactly. It's explained as a juridical agreement which is entered between a couple before the marriage, which defines how activities and debts and money, etc., is divided in case of divorce or death. So we don't even have an official partnership, we just live together. I'm not married. Again, for the same reason that it's just a piece of paper and I'd rather travel the world with him than spend all the money in the wedding. But again, his argument is my ex-wife wanted to be married, and she's also wanted the divorce. So he has a rather bad experience with marriages. And for me, I'm saying it's just a piece of paper. As long as I know you love me, I don't really care, actually. And there's also a financial disadvantage to me by being married, believe it or not. Because I right now receive some health benefits from the government related to my health insurance. And if we would be married, they would consider us too wealthy, or consider me too wealthy, even though I'm financially not any worse off. But because my income then will be multiplied with my partner's income, then they will consider me too wealthy, and therefore I will not be able to get the same benefits, which is like €1,000 a year or something like that. A bit more, actually, 1,300 maybe. Exactly, to each their own. I think what's most important is, as long as you are happy with how the relationship works, and if everybody's happy, that's the most important part, right? Like, I don't feel I'm missing out on anything. Actually, yesterday it was a benefit not being married. So it's a financial benefit, government-wise, tax-wise, but which is crazy. You should say it's a benefit being married, but it's not in this case. And what also was yesterday, a phone salesman called us, and they literally asked if Mrs. and then the surname of my partner was home. And I said no, because we're not married, so we don't have the same surname. And then they were like, oh, is this person anywhere close? And I was like, no, because obviously I know my partner isn't married. So that was easy. And then they hung up. And that is the easiest, quickest way I ever got rid of a phone salesperson without myself hanging up on them. Hallelujah. They need to verify who they're talking with. Yeah, I'm the partner of, but I don't carry his name, so I am not Mrs. his surname. So I could honestly say no without even feeling bad about saying no. Anyhow, we are doing a bunch of double crochets. I don't even know how many stitches it is, but it is a lot, I can tell you. That is the main goal, to finish this PuErhTea shawl, which is a little bit winging it, given that the original shawl pattern ended, but I still had a good probably 200 meters of yarn left. Bye bye, Jackie. I hope you have a wonderful day as well. Thank you for popping in and saying hello. It was wonderful to hang out with you. Basically, I hope everybody is well, actually. See, we do have a few more people that is lurking in the shades. I wasn't sure if it would work going online so early, because it's like it's gonna be really early in the US. But apparently, it's fine. So, yeah, I'm happy I did it. But yeah, so I'm still chipping along. And the plan is basically, once this is done, then afterwards I need to make the etching, which is a row of shells. So one thing that I think I can say reasonably safely is that today, my friends, we should be finishing this shawl, unless something happens. Ah, you work at 6 a.m. Like, do you have night shifts, or is it work starts at 6? Because that is early to be up and at work. But when it's warm, I guess it's nice to work in the morning. Then it's a bit cooler temperature-wise. You start at 6, so you're at work right now. I finished work about an hour ago, a bit more than an hour ago. And then I just quickly prepped to do this, to hang out with you guys. And you have an hour to 6 a.m. Oh, so it's early for you. Oh yeah, you're in California. You told me. I should know that. Cali is 9 hours behind me, so it's 5 a.m. at your place. 5:08 probably. Well, grab a cup of coffee and wake up, I would say. But yeah, so I feel comfortable to say that we're finishing this one today, but I don't feel comfortable saying that I will have it blocked for the yarn talk, because I know that is not gonna happen. So you'll have to wait to see the blocked version of this until next week. We'll probably have time to do it this weekend. Or beginning of next week could also be. That would kind of depend a little bit because I need to move a few things around, and the normal place I would do this blocking will be occupied by other things. So I will need to think carefully what would be the better option. I could do it Friday maybe. Was wonderful chatting. Just got done with coffee and knitting. Got to get ready for work. Have a blessed rest of your day. Well, thank you so much, Misty. I wish you a great day at work, or that work may treat you kindly today. So yeah, have a wonderful day ahead. And I shall keep in mind that sometimes it's not too bad going live a bit early. I'm just chucking along. Some of my regular viewers are also on vacation. It's what happens in the summer. I hope people are enjoying their time. I'll also need some vacation at some stage. But yeah, right now I'm just chipping along. We are a bit more than halfway on the first side, so a bit more than, maybe closer to 30% done of this row. It's easy because it's double crochets and every stitch. It goes from a double crochet in a double crochet of the previous row or in the chain space, and it's just switching, alternating between the two. That is, if I pay attention and don't make two double crochets in the same stitch. But yeah, so I'm rather optimistic about being able to finish this one today. And the blocking will really do the trick once done. That I know for sure. Of my past experiences also with the red teapot Atelier Designs. She made so wonderful, intricate designs. But they first really like pop and look nice once. That they had a little bit of a stretch. I also wonder how this yarn will feel after it's been blocked. Because I can't find out if the feeling is due to the lyrics or what it is, but I really look forward to seeing the end result of this. Of course, I've been working on it for a while now, right? That does also, to some extent, help drive this wantingness is maybe a good word. I'm not even sure if it is a word, but that you want to see the finished version, that you are more inclined, more driven more motivated. I guess, you know, that's the thing you have with bigger projects. When they get closer to finish, you're getting more and more eager for them to finish. And I'd be so happy if we can finish this one today. I had thought I would have done more on the fleur as well. Fleur is a mosaic blanket that I'm working on, but it's just been too warm to um, want to even work on it, because it is warm here. I bet it's gotten warmer since we started. It's about an hour ago, so I think when did we check it? It doesn't really say actually on the time, which is a bit sad. But yeah, 45 minutes ago. We'll check a bit later how warm it is here, but the temperature keeps rising. But it doesn't feel as bad because I have my little ventilator keeping me a bit colder. That, my friends, is really, really a nice thing, I have to say. But right now we are just chipping along. It is a 3.75mm crochet hook, or an F hook. And the yarn I am using is a Stanley Muffin Mini Luxe. They are 90% acrylic and 10% Lurex. Lurex is the golden thread you can see, because when I move it a bit, you can easily see it sparkles. The cake was 250 grams or 8.8 ounces to 1,000 meters or 1,093 yards. So obviously, once this has been finished, there is a cake consumed, which is really nice for my little project to decrease my stash. In fact, it is super awesome if I can get that done and dusted. I need to pull some yarn again, because I feel that when I get to need to pull too much in the yarn, then it tightens my tension. And my tension is already reasonably tight compared to the average crocheter. Is my experience, at least. A year ago this time, I was working on a very classic virus shawl. Nothing wrong in the virus shawl. But yeah, so far we are just chucking along. We are almost done with the first half of this row. It's all double crochets, so it's not that fascinating. to say the least. Not that fascinating at all. Well, I could actually have, but I didn't. This tip, I could just have added a single extra space here and that would have looked nice as well. Why didn't I do that? No, it's fine. I'm not gonna frock a row back to fix that. I'm not. Just no. That's too much work. Had it been 20 stitches or so, sure, but I'm not this. Way too many rows to frock. Mm -mm. See that YouTube made something new for the back end. You can see who's chatting the most, and therefore they get like badges to be like a top supporter and so on. It's a bit funny. And now my yarn tells me again I need to put more. Maybe I just need to. I don't want to pull a lot because I'm also afraid of it yarn bathing on me. Which was something I really had the other day when I had to frock that whole row back because it was a mistake I couldn't work around, so to say. Because the edge here was on the wrong side of the work. So it was if you want to actually show why it's done, you'll have to frock it and change the front post to back posts, which I did. But all the frocking and all the pile of yarn, I was like, oh, please don't bath on me. Please don't tangle. And it didn't. I was rather happy about that. It didn't tangle on me. Because this is a yarn I don't want to untangle. I don't think it would be nice to attempt to untangle this, especially because it's multiple strands. It's just a no thank you. I do not want to detangle this yarn. But yeah, I think it looks really nice. Given, even. It's a nice look. And then we just need to make shells. That's probably... Yeah, I'll probably have enough yarn left to do another row before doing shells, but would I want to? I don't know. I think I'm actually just fine by finishing it. Or what we could do is before blocking, I could measure it from side to side once I'm done with this row. See, that would actually be a decent idea. To then check if it would make sense. Because I think there is enough yarn to easily do it. I've waited a couple of times, and I'm generally surprised about how little yarn is consumed. I don't know if there's enough for a third, but I'm probably gonna be happy enough with how this looks. I know for sure it will stretch further once blocked. So what I might do is to weigh up the excess yarn in the end, and if I think there's enough yarn to like double or triple strand with some others, I might end up just using this yellow because it's solid yellow now with the thread of lurex, I could double thread it and like make some nice beanie or something like that. Maybe I would need to triple strand it, but we'll have to see. Will also depend on how much of a brim, if you want a double folded brim or not. I will have to do some math, but regardless, it will go into my scrap pile. Oh, I did it again. 2 and 1. I really need to pay attention, but I also need to pull thread, so. I still have a fair amount of yarn left. It would make most sense to properly finish off with the shells, because in the end, I've already done like this much more than the yarn patterns or the pattern says. What does it actually say for the edging? I do apologize. Edging. It's basically the same as this, what I'm doing right now. And then it's these shells, which is pretty much it. Yeah, so it would actually just make most sense to finish it up, and would say this would be the second last row, because I don't think I have enough yarn to do another semi-repeat, but basically from here to here is extra addition. And I'm not unsatisfied. I think it's turning out nice. The fact that I'm myself is sort of following the pattern and sort of semi-freestyling makes me quite confident in some future plans. Anyhow, progress is being nicely made. But we still have a bit to go before the end of this row. Meanwhile, it's 3:30. No, sorry, 2:30. So 2:29 p.m., almost 2:30 p.m. here in the Netherlands. And it is officially warm. But thanks to my little ventilator, air blower, it's not so warm that I can't work with this yarn. That said, I don't think I would have been able to if I wouldn't have had it. And I did have a very short moment about 2 hours ago where I was wondering if it was too warm to actually even wanting to go live today. But I ended up doing it, and I don't regret that I did because, I'm pretty happy to spend time with you guys. And this is now I'm supposed to say, don't forget to hydrate. Hydration is important. I probably need to consider if I should go pick myself a new ice cube. The ice cubes I have are metal cubes, so you basically freeze down the metal cubes, and then it doesn't melt in your drink, which is really nice. So looks a bit like what's in here. It's just a metal cube, and it has something in its inside that just freezes. But due to it being a metal cube, it will cool your drink while it doesn't release watering, so it doesn't go all watery. And that I think is rather nice. Meanwhile, as I say, we are heading towards the end of this row in haste. And that should leave us with just one row to go. That said, I do have one stitch too many, so I may need to do something creative at the very top. But I'm fine with that. I am absolutely fine with that. I have an idea of what I could do, but we will have to see if it will work out in reality. First, it's just about getting this row finished. And I have about 2 more hours, and with that said, I should be able to. I'm still optimistic, given the fact that we have decided that this is the last row before the edging. It will still take an hour, at least, or more, before being done, I think, with everything. Maybe an hour and a half, but I think I will be done today. I feel optimistic. I would say I feel rather optimistic. And wouldn't that be awesome if I'm done today? Hallelujah. But yeah, I can feel it's a little bit at the warm end. Do I just try to turn the fan a little bit so it hits me a little bit better? Mainly my hands, actually. Also didn't turn it on full speed. Which is something I can option for if needed. But what I will do is once we get to the end here, I will grab some. I will grab a new ice cube. I will need to do that. And I may need a short break. Potty break. Which is a good sign because it means I'm hydrated, right? Yeah. I actually, because I found this warm to work with last night, I did start on a granny square or granny sort of stitch bucket hat. I'm curious on how that end result will be. I haven't made bags in a while. It's been like 2 months or so. I had a period where I was like really making a lot of bag type of projects. Then I had a period where I was making beanies and headbands. I think we all have these periods. Right now I'm making a shawl. I usually always have a small shawl or a shawl of some kind that I'm working on. Or if I don't have a shawl, then there's no more than a week before I have a new shawl on the hook. That said, I do have a cowl also on the hook. The ginger tea cowl, also by Red Teapot Atelier, which I started last time I was in Denmark. I haven't done much on it. It's been paused, mainly because I wanted to finish this. So this has gotten priority, and it's been warm. Though then the other one would have been probably better than this one as an option, because it's less warm to sit with, because it's not as big yet. But I imagine that it would also get some focus. Yeah, doing good. We don't have that much to go on this row. Look, this is what we have to go, which I would say is not that much. And then we'll have a quick look. But I think the end result is, well, at the end of this, I will, as I said, need a very short break. Going to refuel my drink, amongst things. And then we will have a look at the shawl. If you want, unless you say, oh, we can just continue to the edges, it's fine. We can do that too. I like the fact that we are really, yeah, as I said, we are really able to finish this one today, which really makes me happy. I guess also because I thought genuinely Monday that we would finish it. And then I realized, well, we wouldn't finish it Monday. And then maybe, okay, I can maybe finish it Monday evening. I did work on it Monday evening, but I realized quickly enough Monday evening when I weighed what was left, I was like, nope, we are definitely not gonna finish tonight. And then Tuesday, I actually worked and I added a row and a half or so. And then I had to frog a row. So in the end, I only added a row maybe or so after everything. And this is basically where we are since. Tuesday, most of the job was frogged. Sad but true. I am not regretting that I did it. It was a necessary evil in the sense of how the pattern is set up and how it works. It was a have to if it needs to keep the style. Yeah, but it's fine. I didn't have that many puff stitches in this pattern as I thought I would have. And that is something that's quite nice. So should I want to make this pattern again, I at least know that it's not a puff heavy shawl. But I also know that I may need to adapt some of it pattern wise if I would want to. If you're using a whole cake, unless you option for so the designer herself makes them in the 8/4 cottons, which is a thin weight cotton. I'm not sure if it's correct to call it a 4-ply cotton, but it's like a sport weight cotton. And Hobby has all these gorgeous different colors. So if one wanted to go that direction, one could. With the Linda Hobbies, they also have some good deals sometimes on the 4/8 cottons. Though lately I've mainly been using their 8/8 cottons. What I like about 8/8 cotton is the fact that it works up a lot quicker than the 4/8. For obvious reason, it's thicker, shorter yardage, less fiddly. But I did like, so I did make the Jasmine tea shawl about 15 months ago, maybe. And that I did with those individual colors in that way, and that actually worked up okay. So if one would think about it, one could probably make a nice combination. So that was the end of this row. Awesome. As you can see, it is rather big. I can't actually show it on camera. I'm not even sure if I can reach each of the sides now. No, not successfully. So yeah, that would be absolutely fine to make an edge. You can barely see it on screen. Let me see if I can pop me up in this view. Not sure it's the best view, but we can try. We can try. Oh, so if I just stretch to each side, really like stretch my arms, I still have some excess. So size, and I know this will be bigger once blocked. So I think adding the edge now is absolutely a fine choice. What I am gonna do first is a little short break to refuel. So if you haven't done yet, and if you don't have any drinks, go grab yourself a drink. I'll be back in like 2 to 2.5 minutes or so. So I'm just gonna give you some music to enjoy meanwhile, and we will continue to finish up the show afterwards.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals they take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. Now the morning is the afternoon. We lay awake in bed. The laughs so loud as the hours pass. We're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be, we're gonna be two hearts running wild. The moonlight, summer sky, it was the best we ever had. And we'll stay on forever. We'll never have regrets. We wanna chase the night.
So I am back with you, ladies. Thank you for your patience. Oh yeah. I got refilled with a fresh ice cube as well. And the old one back into the freezer so it can cool down. So that was really, really nice. I really like these ice cubes because it doesn't thin up your drink. What were we doing? We were going on to this view because it's time to do the shell row. And the shell row is basically, as obvious says, row of shells. This one is chain 4 double crochets in the first skip. Let's skip a stitch, single crochet, skip 2 stitches, 7 double crochets. Is the edge the same? Let me just check if there's a difference between the two. It's not, it's the same actually. Which is normally row 55, but I can tell you this is way further than row 55 because, well, we did that together. It was a decision we made Monday because when we were supposed to be close to that end row, we were like looking at being like, I didn't even have the last color change yet, which means I have lots of yarn to go, which was true because here I still have lots of this yarn to go. So we'll start by chaining 4. And size wise, I'm happy with the size. Could I make it bigger? Maybe. Would I make it bigger with a future cake? Would depend. On a similar cake, maybe we will see how much I have left and what I would imagine doing. So chain 4 and then 4 double crochet. So right now we start by 4 double crochet, and as I said, the goal is to, if possible, finish this one today. So that was a chain 4 and 4 double crochets, and then it's and that's into the first stitch, and then we need to skip a stitch, and then I need to do 1 single crochet into that stitch, skip 2 stitches and do 7 double crochets into the next. So basically skip 2, 1, 2, and then we'll do the 7 double crochets here. Oh, if the yarn doesn't split on me. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I need to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and do a single crochet, and that's basically the edge of this shell row pattern that we will be making. What we did short to talk about was to actually check this horrible weather that we are having here. Well, horrible in the sense of it's warm. And I do get it. If you're in California or Texas or Arizona and whatnot, you're used to way worse than what we have here. But I can tell you this is record breaking for the Netherlands, and it is warm when you don't have an air conditioning. Really warm when you don't have an air conditioning. Yeah, and don't barf on me. Don't tangle on me. Be nice to me. The temperature right now is, according to this, still 36 degrees Celsius or 96 degrees Fahrenheit. I had thought that it would have gotten a bit higher actually. The current humidity is 34% and it's blowing from southwest at 6 miles per hour. And I can tell you, when I look outside, I see barely a breeze. So I would not consider it that windy. That's need to tighten that up a bit or it looks funky. That was better. I need to pull it a bit back because it sits more comfortable for me. But yeah, so this is basically the very last row of this shawl, and we need to do a bunch of double crochets again, but in a shell formation. 2, 4, 6, 7 appears to be the magic number, and then we skip 2 stitches and we do a single crochet, skip 2 stitches and we do another 7 double crochets. This morning the municipality were here, well, not here in my house but in front of my house and around my house, outside, just around the property, so to say, because they were removing weeds from the green areas, and I'm like, I'm so happy I don't work with the municipality, because that has had to be warm, doing work like that. It has to get done, I get it, but Jesus, during a heat wave. 2, 4, 6, 7. So that is the right amount. We skip 2 and do a single crochet. So basically we get this lovely edge with shells. That is the thought of it. Yeah, so I have about 1.5 hours to finish those. If I want to finish this on this stream. So let's crack on. But yeah, I could definitely see myself making some sort of different different coloration, or to continue the conversation where we were before, like combining some of these 8/4 cottons to make a really nice shawl. I actually still have some of those upstairs in my stash, but I don't think I have enough to make one big, unless it's more of a solo color, single colored one. Then I could probably do it. 2, 4, 6, 7. Sometimes I think also even monocolored shawls can look really nice, to be honest. Guess it all depends on the look you're trying to create, right? So there's plenty of opportunities. Two, 4, 6, 7. Two, 4, 5. 2 more. Oops, don't split. Fixed. And 7. Skip 2. And a single crochet. Skip 2. 7 doubles. It is a nice edge, shell edge. Actually, it's been quite a while since I've made a shell edge on something. I barely remember when. 2, 4, 6. And a 7. Then we skip 2 and do a single crochet. Skip 2 and 7 doubles. So it is straightforward for sure. So what are my goals? Well, I need to clean the house this week. But that is not going to happen today. It's too warm. It might not happen tomorrow either. I can imagine it will take, I need some time to cool down, or maybe I can do a bit. It kind of depends on how much everything gets to cool. I don't know how much it will cool tonight. 2, 4. I made one too many, I think. 2, 4, 6. I did. Stitch too many. It will cool some, but it's probably not enough. But tomorrow or day is gonna be cooler than today. It's gonna be rain, they say, and maybe like 24, 25 degrees, which is a lot better. Hey, Susan, good morning to you. Are you still enjoying the beachy vacation, or are you back home? As you can see, I am still working on this shawl. That said, I am working on the very last row right now. I just started this row about, I don't know, 10 minutes ago. And this is, well, maybe a bit less, but this is how far we are in the very last row. But once this row is done, shawl is finito. Well, it needs blocking, and I won't have time to block it before the live yarn talk. So I'm probably just going to show off and say, hey, we finished, but not the, hey, we finished blocking. I'm kind of sad that I didn't make a recording of this yarn before I started as a ball. Or a caked up version, that would have been nice. It's a rainy day here at the beach, so you're doing jigsaw puzzles. Oh, that can be nice as well. A little bit exercise for the brain. Then you can continue with the project you brought with you. I just want to finish the shawl before I end this live. What I did mention was, that was before you joined, is that today's live will be cut short, about half an hour earlier than I normally finish them, because I have a birthday party I need to go to. And before then, I need to do a few things. Oh, I didn't need to pull yarn yet, but now we did. I have a few things I need to get finished and get ready before leaving for the birthday party. The etching is easy. It is basically 7 double crochets, skip 2 stitches to make a single crochet, skip 2 stitches to work in 7 double crochets. So it's just a very simple shell stitch edge that I'm making. That is also what is suggested by the pattern. I am still rather happy that we did extend the pattern, and a little bit of a makeshift extend. And as you can see, we are really into the real yellows here for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, almost 5 rows. I think like here is like 20 centimeters, which is like what, I don't know. No, not even 10 inches. Which is of the old color before it changed. But we still have like the last 5 rows, almost full 5 rows is this color. So I'm happy that we did extend it. And apparently the phone is calling. It's a house phone. And yesterday, obviously, I spoke with a phone salesman. And I assume it's probably them trying to reach us again today. If it's people that want to talk to me and it's important, they know where to reach me. And that is not on the house phone. It's generally, my experience is every time I pick up the house phone, in 80% of the times, it's somebody trying to sell shit. And it really annoys me. Yesterday, I still can't believe yesterday, they were like asking for the missus of my partner's surname. And since we aren't married, I don't have his surname, I just have my own. It was easy to say that this Mrs. I wasn't the Mrs. of. So, and then they asked if this person was anywhere close, and I could say, no, not, because else he would be cheating with whoever he's married to and having me living in his house, which is also probably not going to happen. So yeah, I didn't even lie, and then they hang up. I love when they hang up on their own. Usually I'm more the rude one saying not interested in a Hangout. Like they really call a lot to try to make you change your internet subscription, or your cable TV subscription, or your energy subscription, like who you take off your power supply from, which is annoying. Regardless, I'm not the one to speak to because I don't make decisions on that. Meanwhile, we'll chug along. Now I hope I counted correctly. 2, 4, 6, 7. I did. Way to go, me. Oh, it's time to pull yarn. Just one moment, ladies and gentlemen. I am getting some yarn without bathing at all. I will definitely have yarn left. I don't know how much. What I will probably do is I'll probably make a calculation by weighing it off and checking it comparison to that, to get an idea if I could use it double laid with let's say an acrylic of some kind, because this is acrylic, and then make some double-stranded knit beanies. Is probably what I'll end up doing. One, two. I can imagine this yellow combining up with like a white could be a really gorgeous end result. Two, 4, 6, 7. Then we'll skip 2, back to doing a 7 double crochets, skip 2 single crochet, skip 2 7 double crochets, skip 2 single crochet, and that is the shell pattern that I am working on as the edge and last and final row on this shawl, which means that if I don't underestimate the time that I need to do all this, we should finish today. 6, 7, and that would be nice. I really feel that we deserve to finish this shawl. I deserve to finish this shawl today. I do. I feel I've earned it with everything considering. Two, 4, 6, 7. Yep. And 7 again. We have 2, 4, 6, so we need one more. And the yarn is snagging a bit on me. I wonder. Yeah, it's 27.5 degrees according to the indoor temperature, but I just wonder if I should turn this one up one notch, which is my air blow, to hopefully help me. Rikke, hello. I am working on the final row on this shawl. All these Celsius, and it's warm, bloody warm. It's 36 degrees, 37 degrees Celsius here. And I'm sweating my ass off. Not an air conditioning in town. Well, there's probably, yeah, my neighbor has one, but it's not where I'm sitting. I definitely need to, oh, this is gonna dry my eyes out by this rate. So that doesn't work. I will need to fix my air blow by first powering it off and then turning it on where it was. Because my eyes drying out is not helpful for anyone. So it is about 10 degrees colder indoor than it is outdoor right now. That is probably the only thing that I can feel comfort in, but it's way too warm. Which is why, again, that I'm in a tank top, because it's hot, hot, hot for 6, 7. In Skåne, it's 33 degrees Celsius. Jesus. Yeah, it's warm in Denmark too. I know. Mom told me that they were gonna have, that they had promised, I think, 34. And I'm like, do you want to trade? Here they promised 35 to 38. I'm genuinely missing the air conditioning. We could maybe be a bit jealous of Amanda. She's so much further up north. It has to be less warm in Enköping. At least by the logic of it. So the shell stitches I'm making right now is rather simple. They are 7 double crochets, then I skip 2 stitches to make a single crochet, and then I skip 2 stitches to make another 7 double crochets, etc. Oh goodness, that sounds warm. Reggie says, gotta hit the shower, just mowed the lawn and trimmed the hedge, leaving me on. Thank you. Can definitely use a bit of watch time. That did never used to be a problem, but it was a bit for a while. Seems to be like a periodical thing. That said, there is actually no rules for the amount of watch hours you need to have on your channel once you have been monetized. As long as you post regularly is basically what they say. So you need to be active to some extent. If they don't catch you posting stuff, that is when you might be informed by YouTube that they could demonetize you. And yes, I am monetized, which basically means that I get a little bit of the share cut when YouTube show you ads. But what I can also tell you is that it is pennies. It is pennies. You'd need a lot more watchers, visitors, views, I think, for that to be worth it. Some really big live streams. 2, 4, 6, 7. 2, 4, 6, 7. And another 7. Nightbot is so kind to remind you that if you do enjoy hanging out and you haven't subscribed yet, then please subscribe. That also allows you to chat with us. And of course, when you subscribe, you're more likely to see some of my content pop by in your feed. And if you hit the little bell, you also get reminders when I post new content. The plan is that a yarn talk video is going to come out on Friday. Then I have other busy stuff that I'm working on this week. If I will reach it all this week is a big, big, big question. The multi-million-dollar question, which I wish I had the answer to. Two, 4, 6, 7. Awesome. After 7, we skip 2 and do the single crochet. So yeah, we are making progress. We are closer to the tip of the shawl than we were to the end, which means that unless something crazy happens, then I can say yes, we will finish this shawl during this live. Hallelujah. That is nice if we get there. I think also some of you are really curious to see how the final look will be. I'm super duper curious to see how it will look. Especially once on the blocking boards. And I may really need to consider if I could find time to do that. 2, 4, 6. Maybe on the Friday. Yeah. Saturday. Friday or Saturday. That would be nice. Also because it is kind of this time of the year where I can easily do these blockings. And I do have a few shawls I really need to block. I just postponed it and postponed it as postponed. And you know, part of it is just because the effort made to, you know, need to set in the pins and stretch it out and unpin it. I like the end result, but I hate the actual process. Like, I'd rather just crochet. That's more fun. But because the end result is looking so nice, I am semi-forcing myself to do it. But that's why I have quite a few projects actually, which haven't been blocked yet, just because I've, postponed the action of the blocking. Is there something you don't like as well? It's like weaving in ends or a specific stitch or a specific process such as blocking. Is there anything that is something that you rather not, if you could trade it for something else, would you? Two, four, six, seven. And we are back on the 7 double crochets. I am curious how much I need to fix stuff here at the center, because I do know there is a likelihood of me needing to be creative, because I do believe I still have one stitch too many for this to add up, the math of it, that is. So I may need to do something creative, which I'm fine with. Don't get me wrong, I'm fine with it. The hindsight is that 2 rows ago I could have done something else that might have fixed that single extra stitch. Instead, I just went along with the fact that I had a stitch too many, and I was like, "What? Be fine." It's on both sides, so it is symmetrical. And the reason for this is obviously that I did not follow the pattern. After the second repeat, you're supposed to do the edges by then, and I didn't do that. I went rogue, trying to adapt it best way possible. Which I think I've done to an extent that people wouldn't say, okay, what happened? But being like, okay. Two, four, six. I need one more to finish the shell here. Then I need to skip 2 stitches and to work in the single crochet, and then we'll skip 2 stitches again, and in that third stitch we'll do another 7 doubles. How much more I'm gonna do after finishing the shawl, I don't know, because I'm not sure how much time we'll have left by then. But I do know that I am chipping away here. 2, 4, 5, 6, and a 7. If there are any new watchers here, let me know. What are you doing? Are you doing anything fun? Are you working on anything? Just hanging out with your morning coffee, or afternoon coffee for that matter? Or are you working on something interesting? I know that Reke left me on running because she needed to go to the shower. I am, though, rather surprised she decided to go mow her lawn and cut her hedge in this temperature, because that is way too warm to do any gardening work. I did a little gardening work yesterday morning before it went too warm and before I started working for my boss. Two, four, six, 7. Awesome. And don't forget to hydrate. If I haven't said that like 20 times a stream. So the coming 2 weeks is just gonna be work for me, Monday to Friday work, and then I'm off for 5/6 days of vacation. We are leaving on a Thursday and we are going back on a Tuesday. So it's just a mini vacation. It's a trip to Denmark. to see my parents, and this time I'll bring my partner, so we will be driving. And I will need to figure out a really good project for on the road. That is something that I will need to consider. Two, three, 4, 5, 6, and the last double crochet as in 7. Skip 2, single crochet, and pull some yarn. It's yarn pulling time. I am considering if I will, once I'm done, I will have some yarn left. Either I probably just need to wait, or I need to consider, I don't know if I need to use the yarn winder or if I will manually, let's try again, manually wind up the yarn. That is also an undecided factor yet. Five, 6, 7, 4, 6, 7. Skip 2, single crochet, skip 2, and a bunch of double crochets. Yep. Two, 4, 6, 7. Skip 2, skip 2 again. We're back on working in these 7 doubles. Wanted to have a look at something. That's the center here. I need to check what they are doing when we get there. So now I've found the center part of the pattern ready to be read in just a few. Let's see, 5, 6, 7, 2, 4, 6, 7. Skip 2. Then skip 2. Yeah, we will probably need to do a single crochet, which could maybe work. I'll have to check that. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, and then it says here for blah 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 until the last third stitch. then it's 7 double crochet in the middle, and then it's the same repeat until the end. So it's just another 7 in the middle. But what I think we could probably do that still with single crochet here. Then instead of doing 7 doubles, what I think could look really nice is doing 3 doubles. Oops. Then I want to do a treble. And then 3 doubles again. Oh, that yarn split. So we did 3 doubles, treble, 3 doubles, because that's still 7 stitches. And the treble is just to give this extra tip, and then I'll do single. That will give the tip. That's kind of nice, actually. Yeah, I'm happy. And then the other side, guess what? Is chickly chickly ching. All the very way to the end. So we start by skipping the 2 stitches after the single crochet. Work in these shell stitches of the 7 double crochets. Pretty much. Oh, yarn split. I need to pay attention. What I can feel is that my hand is going a bit warm / humid. So I need to pay more attention to if I have enough yarn to work with, if the working end is pulled long enough from the cake. So this Dunley cake it's a flat cake, which is, as you can see here, and because it's laying flat, because I did a center pull from it, I need to pull the yarn out. And as you can see, since we are at the center, we have plenty of enough yarn left. I could probably have done another row if I really had wanted to. But how the pattern is built up, it kind of didn't make sense to add extra unless I wanted to add extra row of, let's say, double crochets or front post. But if I had done that, then I don't think that I would have finished it during this live. That would have been too much work to go. Right now, I think it is realistic to do still. So that is what we're working towards. 2, 4, 6, 7. The change of things, this minor change of things, does give me confidence into going back into attempting to maybe design shawls. But that would be a lot of work. Oh no, I'm stuck on the edge. Oh no, no, don't break on me. Oh, saved. Okay, I have 2, 4, 5. Need 2 more. One, 2, done. What I probably should do to prevent heat on me is to maybe put the work up here instead of having it in my lab. That's less warmth I need to bother with, which is a good thing. And these temperatures. Earlier today, I was really debating on considering subscribing again to the fitness center. It would be really good for my health in so many aspects. Go there a couple of times a week. That would be a really good thing. But a part of me also sort of decided on waiting because I am currently on a temporary contract with my employer, which means that if they don't want to renew my contract at the end of November, then I am unemployed, to say the least. 2, 4, 6, 7. Obviously, that is not a fun place to be. So I genuinely hope that they want to continue with me on board. I do enjoy the place I work, and the colleagues are nice. Flexibility is amazing. So when we get closer to November, you may pray for me that I can keep this part-time job of mine, which is a perfect fit with 2, 4, 6, 7, which is a general perfect fit with my current life situation. I need to get some more yarn. I see it's time to pull more yarn from the center, so we will do that. I'll just pull a bit of extra. I think every time that I pull extra, but it's disappearing so quickly. Guess that's a good sign. Means that I'm chewing through it. Consuming it so nicely. 2. And in the third we will do the 7 double crochets. Two, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 2, 4, 6, 7. And oh, wait. Need to do a single crochet, not a double crochet. I wanted to do a double crochet, that was not the intention. It's a single crochet to make these gorgeous shells. And it is gorgeous. We skip 2 stitches, and then that's where we do 7 double crochets again. 5, 6, and number 7 if I corrected. I did count correct. That is a good sign. Skip 2 stitches, single crochet. Yeah, so I guess not many are crafting today right now because I haven't really heard from you guys. Or maybe it is exactly because you're crafting that you're too busy crafting while you're just hearing to me yaddle on in my own crafting. But I'm not sure if that's so clever of me to sit and kind of count aloud because I don't want to disturb you ladies in your counts if you are counting. Or I shall hope that you are crafting something that requires no brains. Let me see here. 2, 4, 6, 7. Reka, I can imagine. She writes here, Pew, that was a needed shower. Yeah, if you in 33 degrees Celsius, which is like above 90 degrees Fahrenheit, decides it's a really good idea to go mow your lawn and cut your hedge, yeah, you deserve a shower afterwards. You even deserve an ice cream as a reward. Damn. I would not have dreamed of doing it. I might have gone out and then 5 minutes later concluded that was a really shitty idea and got back indoor because it's so warm outdoors. So respect for the fact that you did it. Damn. I think everybody here, like I can see how all my neighbors, they have their curtains down to block out the sunlight to prevent their houses warming up even more. Yeah. I'm definitely considering the potential need of an air conditioning installation. Maybe I'll just invest in one if I get a new contract this autumn. 2, 4, 6, 7 for work. I cannot think when I'm going to give the kiddo driver's lesson in a while. So no. That's not a good plan. That is definitely not a good plan. Good luck on the driver's lessons. Does he have a far way to go for the exam, or when would he be able to take the exam? Here in the Netherlands, they don't even need an anti-slip course to get the driver's license, which I cannot really family relate to being Danish. You know, in Denmark, at least when I got my driver's license, it was obligatory for you to take at least a 4 hours anti-slip course. And if you didn't do it, you wouldn't be allowed to go to take the exam. Back then, at least. Here in the Netherlands, they're like, anti-slip course? What's that? And I'm like, well, something you could really use because instantly, as we have 2 centimeters of snow here in the Netherlands, everybody forgets how to drive their cars and they panic. Like if they would have had an anti-slip course, this wouldn't be an issue. Oh no, he's still far away. He kinda got cancer that disrupted the lessons a bit, but now we're back at it. How can you kinda have cancer? I hope it's because that means that he had cancer and he's now cured. I pray. Cancer is ruthless. It doesn't distinguish, it doesn't differentiate who it attacks and who it doesn't. It's a horrible, horrible, horrible disease. I made some ribbons symbolizing the Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is the one my mom is suffering from, and gave them to her. 3 of them. I think she gave one away as a present, but I told her she could. So, and the rest is hanging as a symbol next to where she's sitting. Little gift reminder. Big lucky charms. Treatment worked, but we are not completely out of the woods yet. Okay. So he's still going for the checkups, etc. By the sound of it. May I ask what type? because, you know, he can't be that old after all. So that's really so unfair when it's the young ones being like, it's, it sounds so weird to say, but again, with my mom, she's 65, right? If she had been 85 and we had gotten the diagnosis, I would have felt less frustrated because at least the most of the life is done by then, I guess. So that would be less bad. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It just felt a bit frustrating, and I can imagine it's worse the younger you are. But the most important is keeping optimistic, keeping keeping the optimism, being positive about that you're going to get through this. And I'll be absolutely honest and say that compared to 2 months ago, my mom is looking a lot better, but she's still undergoing treatment, so we're far not there, and she still looks like it's a rough time. You know, like, I'm not in doubt, but compared to how she looked when she started treatment, I do have a feeling that it's going in the positive direction. She's going to have her halfway PET scan done tomorrow. So hopefully, so halfway treatment PET scan to see if it has a positive effect. So hopefully we should have an answer on that soon. Yep, we have 10 years of checkups now. He got testicular cancer. Oh, that's, wow, prostate cancer. She's young then. Whoa. I'm sorry, but I'm happy to hear he's sort of out of the woods, at least except for the constant checkups every, like, what, half a year for the next 10 years or something like that. But that's positive. Like I say, I know how you think. I lost my father at the age of 54 years, and that was way too young. Yeah, definitely. I would have been frustrated as well then, right? Like, you know, fair, we can't wish for not being ill when we get so old that it's time to pass on. And I guess that's sort of acceptable, but at least if you have the feeling you have had a good lifetime and you got and that you got towards what you wanted to get out of it. My granddad got diagnosed with intestine cancer at the age of 93, and he refused treatment, except for any painkillers and so on. And honestly, given that, that's okay, because I felt on him even before we had that diagnosis that he was slowly getting to a stage where he was like, okay, I've had a good life, I'm happy. And then it's so much more, I wouldn't say fair, but it feels less frustrating when you know you're in a situation like that. So yeah, treatment, we're not out of the woods yet with mom. We're still undergoing treatment. She's still getting 3 different types of chemotherapy once a week. She had treatment yesterday, which was treatment 7 out of 12. She was supposed to have had the PET scan Monday, but they called from the hospital and said, well, I'm sorry, but the PET scan is broken. We need it fixed before you can come and have your scan. So your time has been cancelled and moved to Thursday. So that is why she's first getting it Thursday. He's 28. Yeah, cancer doesn't judge. Definitely doesn't. Ruthless beast it is. But I'm glad to hear he's progressing well. And that he's now just in the checkup phase. The good thing, I guess, is with the checkup is if it does come back, I hope not, then it will be caught quicker and it's easier to, I wouldn't say fix, but to cure. It's, you know, they stand a better chance, right? Should it decide to come back, which I really pray it doesn't. Which is the same with my mom. I really hope it's cured, done, dusted, and then once she's through this, that she can just focus on regaining weight. She lost like a lot of weight. Translated into our number world, she's probably lost on the good side of 40 kilos, which is like on the good side of 80 plus pounds. And given the fact that her size is around the size I have right now before she got sick, she is skin and bones. And there is a lot of recovering training to do, a lot of rehabilitation, I would say, but that sounds wrong. But she needs to retrain and regain strength. And we are trying to encourage her to move extra when she has the energy to do it. Right now, she's also confined to the couch in the living room because she is currently unable to take the stairs upstairs. She just doesn't have the muscles for doing the staircase. Unless she hasn't told me that she's been able to pass it the last 2 weeks, but I don't think that would have happened without her telling me. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to see her in 2 weeks' time. We will go back home with the family and say hello, and give her a hug, and see how she's doing, and yeah, hopefully she's doing good. Looking forward to see the family, do some things together. Yeah, muscles take time to build up when you've had chemotherapy. Everything takes time to recover. There is zero doubt that chemotherapy is really rough on your body. She tells me that on the days when she gets this treatment, she has this extremely metallic taste in her mouth, like as if she can taste the treatment itself, which I can imagine. Like it's pure poison. Oh, I am taking you with me in the car. Gotta pick up the noob driver. My son said that too. Well, my greetings to your son. Say that I'm very happy to hear that he's declared cured, even though he gets to go through these checkups. But I'm very happy to hear that he's gotten so far. And my best wishes to him that he remains strong and positive, no matter what happens, because obviously he should have many good years to come. Think, my mom was also positive she would have at least another 20 years when we got the diagnosis, even though there has been days where we might have had more doubts on those 20 years than others. But yeah, I felt a lot better last time I had been home. I had a more feeling of those 20 years were probably more possible than, let's say, 2 months ago. 2 months ago, I was extremely concerned for that. Let's see, 2, 4, 8. No, sorry, I can't count. 2, 4, 6, 7. We still have a bit to go. But as I said, I am quite positive we will finish this one today. 1, 2, 3. And then I need to decide how to approach the remaining of this. If I want to just see if I can wind it up as a ball, or if I'll throw it on the cake winder. I do need to use the cake winder for I think that would be cleverer. So as I talked a bit earlier about that, I received some knitting needles today that, or not today, this week, that I'm really looking forward out to trying. And with that said, I'm also looking forward to that pattern. So I had this the single skein of yarn that I obtained last month was to triple strand some yarn for a triple stranded knit beanie. It's gonna be a bit of a chunky, bulky minded beanie. I probably need like 8mm needles. Just gonna do like knit rip beanie. But I needed that to make sure it was thick enough to kind of go into this bulky work. But since it's a three skeins, I think it would be easier for me to cake them up. And then work with the cakes in my project crate. There should be plenty of room for those 3 cakes to more or less stand there. That's my estimation. 4, 6 plus. I'm not sure it would be very practical to have yarns bumping around everywhere when you're working with 3 strands coming out there. So that is the current thought process that I have on that. And then I could option to throw the remainder of this cake on the yarn winder as well to cake it up. But I'm also not completely sure if that makes sense. I don't think there's that much left that it makes sense because it is thinner. I don't know. I could weigh it to see how much I think there is and then try to make an estimate in meters maybe. I don't know. 2, 4, 6, 7. I did weigh it a couple of times, and I concluded that I had reasonably amount of yarn left, so I do still believe that's the case. I don't know, maybe 25 grams, 110 meters, but it's a thinner weight yarn, so that is why I'm not sure if it would be a benefit to cake it up, or if it would make more sense just to roll it up as a ball. That is why I wanted to weigh it, because if I do weigh it, I get a much closer estimate, because I'll take the weight compared to the length, and I have a good estimate on how long it is. That also gives me a really good estimate as if I think I can combine this with, let's say, some white yarn to make a knit hat / beanie, to double strand it with something else. I have lots of white, and I think this could be absolutely fine with some white, and then the yellow and the golden thread. I think that would be quite nice. I'm also keen if you have suggestions, of course, on that account. But again, it's a bit difficult to say before actually knowing or having a good estimate of how much is left. Two, 4, 6, 7. I have, so as you all know, at least if you've been following me for a bit, I went to a hobby store in Denmark, and I have footage from it, so I need to edit a video. And I can tell you, my dear friends, there is probably a half an hour plus footage to edit, at least, from that whole store. And that will take me a bit of time to do. That will take me more than I thought it would. So maybe that is something I need to spend time on this weekend. I need to pull some yarn. And I also have the time to do it, to spend time on it, so to say. 2, 4, 6, 7. What I also fear is that my computer is slowly starting to act up a bit, so I might need to consider buying a new, which is expensive. And it's a hassle to move things around. 2, 4, 6, 7. It's mainly the hassle part that I'm not so keen about. Yeah. But I might consider needing that. I've definitely been able to see that with how it's been behaving as of late. It's apparently having a hard time doing some of the things I'm asking it to do. And this last weekend, it's frozen me. It didn't want to shut down or turn on. It was like in standby mode. And if that dies on me, I will be screwed, to say the least. So I need to consider maybe looking into the costs of a new within not too long, within the next coming year. It does fit when I look on how often I've changed in the past. It's getting time slowly. 2, 4, 6, 7. Because the one I have right now is probably from the year 2019. And I do use them pretty intensely. That's also valid to say. Five, and then we have 6 and 7. So what I will do just before cutting the yarn here is that I will quickly walk through the edge to ensure that I didn't make any stupid mistakes. But if it fits in the length, everything should be fine. But we are really getting closer to the end here. 2, 4, 6, 7. Because this, my friends, is how much I have to go. And it's time to pull some yarn again. Then we skip 2 and we do another 7 single crochets. Definitely did get help to get the project a bit off me and on the table. That's a project, a problem I have with the project of the fleur. It's so big. I can't only just have it on the table. Maybe I can if I don't do anything else, but you know, I like to do something when I crochet. Often I like watch a series or listen to music. I could just listen to music, I guess, if I did it. But, or I watch other YouTubers. Two, 4, 6, 7. I did have the feeling of going to Sweden a few times when I'm like booking my train tickets to go home. It's often with the PuErhTea. When I'm going from Copenhagen to the airport. Last time, though, it was cancelled. All trains to the airport from the Copenhagen Central Station was cancelled because one of the drive lines, electricity lines, had dropped down, and they had to fix that. So there was a collective nightmare if you needed public transportation, literally. That said, I did take the metro, and I think that went pretty successful. 2, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 2, 4, 6, 7, 1, 2. Skipped 2 and did a single crochet and skipped 2, and we are back to the 7 double crochets. And as I say, we are really closing up to finishing this. That is awesome. Makes me a happy camper. So few stitches to go. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this game I will consider complete, even though there's a little bit left, but honestly, since I don't know what yet, I'll just consider it complete. It's majority done regardless. So that's fair enough. Two, 4, 6, and 7. Skip 2 for a single crochet. skip 2 for 7 doubles. I'll need to pull yarn first though. It's so close, look, so close. So close. When we are there and we have checked that we think it's good, then we'll get back to my face view and I will pop up the camera and I will stand up and show you guys how it looks in its full glory before pre-blocking. So we have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, skip 2, single crochet, skip 2. Oh my goodness, we are getting so close to the end here. And I am feeling good because it's finished. Again, finished with the exception of the blocking, but it's good as finished. 4, 6, 7. Yep, it fits. Awesome. So first we need to do 7, then the skip 2 single crochet, and then we only skip 1, and then we work in 4 doubles and a treble. I could have done something similar at the tip too, I guess. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. But I just stick to the original 7 they had calculated for, which is okay, I think. Then we did the single crochet. We need to do the double crochet here and the ending like this, and that is gonna be 4 doubles. So we'll start by doing 4 doubles. 2. Oh. That's the 3rd and the 4th of them. Then we need to do a treble, which by my math should be my last stitch. Hallelujah. I am going to insert a stitch marker just shortly to ensure that I actually did do this correctly. We do have some yarn left, not that much. This is the outside view, but let's just quickly run over all of these just to check that I didn't do anything funky with the shells, but I think I did them all as they are supposed to be. The only thing I did different was the tip, where I did a treble on the center one. It's a very tiny detail. Unless you look closer, you probably wouldn't notice. This looks good. Oh my. This is the positive side. So what we are gonna do, I'm gonna cut that one off. Then I'm gonna pop back up and we are gonna remove the other pretty head. And I am gonna attempt stand. I just need to make sure I turn it the right way around. So right now it would be nicer to, as I say, there's a little bit of yarn left. Not much, but there's a little bit. How many meters? I have no clue. I would need to weigh the yarn to come with a good estimate. What I'm probably going to do is I'm not sure. It's too little to really cake up on my cake winder. The gap in the middle will be too big and it will probably collapse on itself. So what I'll do is I'll just wind it up as a ball. But ladies and gentlemen, this is actually what I could probably do to pull you back a bit to give you a bit more of a view. That, my friends, is the shawl, the PuErhTea shawl. And what you can see is this bit. So from this ridge onto around here, or actually it's from this row of double crochets, which is just after that ridge to here, is what I've done on my own. That was not a part of the original pattern. I'm happy. I am happy. So we can take scissors and we can cut. So do I have scissors in here? I do have scissors in here. So what we can do is we can cut the yarn. And weave in ends. Holy macaroni. We finished. I'm so happy. Literally. We've finished. We've finished. You're a bit further away from me right now, but that's okay since you're not directly following. But yeah, as I said, we finished. So I am super duper happy about that. I am gonna weave in ends because now I can't do that, else I need to do it another time. So yeah, I'll do that right now, and then I'll probably just wind that yarn up later today. But yeah, so isn't that awesome? We are finished. Could I have taken a smaller needle? I probably could have. No. That's not what's most important. What's important is that we finished. And that means that I can weave in ends and tell the world that, oh my goodness, it's not keeping straight in this needle, is it? Tell the world that I used a full skein of Stanley Muffin and Mini Lux. How was my experiencing crocheting with this yarn? I think it was pretty okay. It's not something that I instantly would say never again. But I do believe if it's a bit warmer in the weather, it's probably not the easiest yarn to crochet with due to the lurex tends to, like if your fingers are warm, it doesn't glide as easy just due to that tension from the heat of your fingers. But if we look away from that, I think it was okay to work with, definitely. But if you have warm fingers, the Lurex can feel it snags a bit against your fingers, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's probably the only thing. I just want to have one more insertion. Like this. Oh my gee, what happened here? Ah, it's the edge. So, like that. That Lurch thread still wants to definitely hug me. It keeps like following me. And I also had a little bit here in the center that I had not woven in the ends. I don't know why I don't do that. In the beginning, it's because the subconscious fear of it not being like I've made mistakes, which is I don't want a weave-in ends if there's a chance I'll have to frog. That wouldn't be the case here, luckily. So I'm just bringing it around a few times and then I'll cut the edge again. I'll cut the end. That, my friends, is a finished shawl. And probably also towards the end of my stream, because I don't have that much time left. I need to do a few things before going to the birthday party later. And the real question is if it would make sense to find and unwrap and unpack and start on the new project now. I don't necessarily instantly feel it. So, no loose ends. This is in sitting position. I can't even see what I'm doing. That was better. Sitting position, shawl. I am definitely looking forward to blocking this and see how this one looks once blocked. I won't have it block ready for the yarn talk on Friday, but hopefully for next week. I think it is gorgeous. One down, much to go. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It was an absolutely wonderful time. You proved me that going online a bit earlier isn't too bad either. So I'm going to say thank you for hanging out with me. I had a great time, amazing, wonderful time with you guys. Take care and happy crafting. I'll see you in Friday's yarn talk video, and let's see how much else. Bye.